Good morning. You are tagged up. We managed to get it in at that time. I don't know if it's going to show up for you this time or not, but
I don't either. Let's find out.
So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Dark Roast. I am here with my beautiful co-host, Rose Short, and today we are going to tackle a subject that is very controversial for a lot of people, and that is AI. It's silly to me that AI should be so controversial, but it is because some people hate it. But I think part of that is because people just don't know how to use it properly.
Yeah, or they don't understand like where it's actually getting its data, right? Because there's a lot of like, this is stolen stuff, but there's AI can only do what you tell it to do, and there's an art to getting it to prompt and make the videos or the artwork or anything, that you want and get it right. So there is a lot of skill involved. It's not just, type in, paint me a picture of a rainbow and you're done. Like there's a lot more to it. But it is a massive trigger point.
Yep, absolutely. And it's funny. I get when people get frustrated because they see the generic and impersonal of the AI. And I think that's because a lot of people treat AI like it can do things for you. I mean, in a way it can, but just like any other skill, you have to learn how to use the tools of the trade to get it to do or produce or create what it is that you actually want it to create. And even then, you still need to have your own skill sets to really flesh it out and make it the right thing. And I think people also think that AI is specifically either Chat GPT or Midjourney. Yeah. And so they don't realize that it is a much bigger thing than that, which can be scary for some.
Sure.
So
I think a lot of people make the mistake of like, we automatically think that computers are smarter than us. Because I know I make this mistake. But you have to remember that computers and AI and everything is all designed by humans. And so, there are faults in it. My favorite story was the lawyers who used Chat GPT to write one of their, I don't know if it was a paper or a case note or what, but they sent it to the judge and like everything that was cited in it wasn't a real thing. It was just like Chat GPT was like, yeah, this seems accurate. And just like made stuff up basically. And it's not because like the AI can make stuff up. It's just because it was like, I don't have the data I need. And so this has the same like 3 words. So clearly this goes together.
Yeah. And the way you can make your AI smarter is to train it. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know, but I think a lot of people don't realize that let's take Chat GPT, because let's start with the basics, right? You can go into your settings and you can go and set up your profile. You can do this on the free version or the paid version. And you would do this if you were in Jasper AI or if you were in Claude or any of those other ones as well. You go into your settings and you set up your profile information. And that's not like, hi, I'm so-and-so and I like, this. It's more about telling it very specific things. Like if you have a brand archetype, put that information in there. If you have an ideal client who you're trying to reach, you put that information in there. Put in your hobbies and your interests and your communication styles. You put all that information in there, and it actually is very good about taking you step by step as to the information that you want to put in there. But you get that set up, and then you don't have to train it every single time to speak to you in a way that makes more sense to you, and also to provide content that makes more sense on the outside as well. And then as far as more up-to-date data, there are plugins that you can put into ChatGPT that are free, that will also allow you to actually have web access, so that it can search the web and find more relevant information. That doesn't mean you don't have to look and verify, But it usually provides you citations. It lets you know where it grabbed that information from. So you can go and look and say, yeah, no, that's absolute scam data, or yeah, no, that's good. That's really super helpful. And that might actually allow you to go and dig deeper as well. The other thing the other tool that I use quite a lot, and let me just pull down my things here. So Web Chat GPT is one that I have on. And then the other one I have is AIPRM for Chat GPT. And that isn't actually, it provides a ton of prompts so that you are able to speak to it a little bit more clearly to ask what you want. You're still going to have to tweak it because it's not going to be perfect. But at least it gives you a better starting point. Especially if you're starting from a place of, I don't know how to write prompts. I don't know how to, I don't know how to do any of the things. I just want it to give me stuff. Right.
Oh, I know that feeling. Yes.
Yeah. I utilize it. I use it a lot. I utilize Chat GPT a lot. But I don't utilize it so much for content creation. I do sometimes if I can't think of something or I have an idea and I just can't get my words around, I'll tell it what I want and it'll spit something out and I'm like, okay, well, that's close enough. Let me go in and edit this heavily to make it more me. Pardon me. But it's so much more than just Chat GPT, like Midjourney. And another good one for content creation is playground.com, which is free. And it's got it utilizes many different generators and has some good basics that you can use in terms of like, I like this or I like that. It has a limited number that you can produce in a month and stuff like that, but not really a big deal unless you're really super image heavy. But for content creation, it's great to be able to create some images and work with them and stuff like that. And it's fun to just try and see what you can do.
Yeah, I had a friend who got really good with those. I don't typically use those so much. I use Monica. And actually, like my research team with Ice Wellness uses Monica as well, because what Monica does is summarizes the page that you're on. And so for us, when we're doing we're going through the different studies and whatnot, trying to find the info we need for actual medical studies that have been done around cold therapy. It's really nice. Like, obviously, we still read the study, but that just gives us a little bit easier way to put the bullet points together for when we're filming the YouTube video. So that one's great. And then if you're looking at doing a faceless YouTube, is it InVideo.ai? I think it is.
InVideo.ai is amazing. It has so many different options and tools. Yeah, it's another great one for video AI. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I actually use OpenHARPA AI, which is another summary tool and whatnot, but it works. A lot of them work sort of interchangeably, like they pull from this or pull from here. So it just depends on what interface you like best and what works best for you. I'm not a fan of the Meta AI. It irritates the crap out of me because it's constantly in my face trying to ask me questions when all I want to do is search my actual Facebook.
Yeah.
It's like, you irritate me, boy.
A lot of people don't like that.
It's like, you're only supposed to be there when I want you. Don't get in my face. That's my biggest issue. And that the Harper one sometimes gets on my nerves because it'll take up space on the side that I'm like, no, I don't want you right now. But I mean, even Google and Bing are using AI.
Yeah. And from a social media standpoint, like there's a lot of things that AI can help you with as far as time saving, right? So you've got ManyChat, which you can train on keywords. So when when you're say you're doing a free giveaway and you put, comment free in the comments and I'll send you, the thing, like you can set that up to where ManyChat automatically does it. That way you're not missing when people are doing it because you're not on Instagram all the time. And it can, help keep your followers or potential customers engaged. That one's a really good one. There are ones out there that I don't like that people utilize. So there's one for Facebook that you can tell it how many people from what group, and how quickly to do it so that you can trick the algorithm to thinking you're human. But a lot of marketers that are not marketing properly will use it to do their 50 to 100 friend requests a day. So you have like, you put in however many variations of like, hi, I'm da da da, we're in this group together. And then you set it, 45 seconds, a friend request, whatever, and it'll go through and it'll friend 50, 100, however many people you say. Now, if that's your business model, that's great because that's a huge time saver. But I also can like spot the ones that are doing it now, and it frustrates me.
Yeah. Again, like even with your content, you have to try and make it as personal as possible. The responses, like I just signed up for somebody and I'm getting their automated responses. And I mean, it's very clear to me it's automated responses. But they've done their very best to make it very personal in terms of how they speak and what they're trying to do. So I appreciate that they've taken the time to do that. I'm not so blind that I don't know, but I have seen some where it's really difficult to know because the conversation is so organic in the way that they're responding, which is fantastic. Especially as a business owner, because if you're getting a lot of inbound requests for information, it can get very overwhelming. And then you're spending all your time answering queries instead of your job of running your business. So, oh, good morning, Renee. The other thing that it's really good for is scheduling your stuff.
Yes.
Did you know that is an AI driven thing? Scheduling your stuff, right? So we think of AI typically as producing content, but not so much on the back end where it's tools for driving your business. So, you've got tools like Metricool or Hootsuite. HubSpot also, utilizes a lot of AI in terms of helping to schedule your stuff. And if you're a solopreneur, which a lot of us are, especially in the very beginning, we don't have a lot of hands on deck. We have two. Mm-hmm. So, being able to utilize these tools to help make our social media scheduling and content creation easier, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's you now have the power of a team without having to have the capital to hire one. It's pretty cool. Again, if you're using it correctly.
Yeah, and there are some excellent content creators who specifically handle how to utilize AI to your best. And now, as with everything, as we always say, do your research, look at what they're providing, test it out yourself, see if it's giving you what you want. But, do your research, but find some content creators who are very much into the AI, into prompt generation, or how to utilize some of the AI tools, all those things, so that you can be more confident when you're utilizing it and you're coming from a place of knowledge and understanding. This one I think is very cool.
Good.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm more interested in what you have to say. Speak.
So there's been a lot of studies around marketing and advertising, obviously, right? Because a lot of businesses, like, advertising makes or break them. And a lot of advertisers are using the Chat GPT and AI and things like that to rewrite their ad copy at a 5th grade level, because that is the level at which most adverts work.
Yep.
So I found that
which is interesting, right? That's probably why people drop off when they listen to me, is because I have a hard time communicating that way. And not so much that it's just, I don't even think about it. Right. I come from a part of my background as a lot of authors. So reading and writing, and it's a lot. And I mean, I'm not talking, technical journals and stuff like that. It just in general, there's a lot of word use. So this vocabulary sort of expanded, and I forget sometimes that's just, and I don't even think it's so much that people don't have the ability or don't have the vocabulary. It's just a case of, I don't want to feel like I'm talking to somebody who's, being hoity-toity, right?
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's more
also,
than anything else.
well, you're also Canadian too. So like, you use English differently than Americans do. Like I have that problem because, I was overseas a lot. I like British English. I live with a British person. And so like I use British English a lot and it bothers so many Americans.
Oh, yeah, I'm a Canadian in America. I do the temperature in Celsius, right? And I'm like, holy crap, it's like 32 degrees out. This is stupid. And they're like, it's not freezing. It's like, get with the rest of the world, right? As far as spelling goes, yeah, I'm constantly being told to drop my U's and put my R's and E's in different order. And it's Z, not Z, damn it. But
it is Z, yes, I agree. I still say aluminium and it bothers people so much. And petrol.
I love the word aluminium. I think that's just the
so
best way to say it. Tangent.
Right. Sorry. But no, I get it. Cause for the longest time, cause I didn't, get a bachelor's degree or anything like that. But like, I read a lot as a child and like, I would look up the words I didn't know. And like, so like, I'm not the smartest person in the room, but I strived at a young age to have a good vocabulary. And so I've had multiple instances where like, I'm talking to someone and they're like, can you not try to sound smart when you're talking to me? And I was like, I mean, I'm not, but okay.
Yeah, I got accused of pretending as well. It's like, oh, you come across as you're all educated and experienced, but I'm like, I'm not attempting to do that. I'm just telling you my own experiences and talking the way I talk, and that's sorry that offends you, but
yeah.
At any rate, yeah.
So that's where Chat GPT can come in handy for blogging, copywriting, any kind of thing like that. Because then, like, not to be too point blank about it, but you can have the AI dumb it down.
Well, yeah, and a good one for that actually is Jasper. It's really good for rewriting your copy and also checking to make sure that there's no plagiarism, checking to make sure that it sounds like a human being, all those kinds of things. So it's actually really good for that. And you can test that. You can go online and just check if your content sounds like it's AI generated or not. But just remember that if you're doing content with AI generated content, they have specific words that they really like. And it's not that they're uncommon, but they're really common in AI generated. So like my husband and I were talking, and he's got a friend who's a teacher at university, and he can pretty much spot an AI paper just because there's certain words or phrases that come up, and they come up very consistently in a place that a 20-year-old or an 19-year-old wouldn't use it. Right. It's just not, it's the wrong kind of colloquialism. So,
yep. Yeah, AI is basically predictive text, right? And so like, I don't think a lot of people understand that. It's basically just reading predictive text and being like, okay, yeah, this makes sense based off of all the users I've analyzed. So it's not infallible anyway.
Speaking of predictive, it's also utilized for predictive analytics, which is super cool because it's taking all your past data and doing the analyzing for you, and then providing forecasting trends, which can be super helpful for your marketing to see what's working and what's not working, and then provide you some direction for forward moving to help you stay ahead and to see also what, don't do that again.
Yeah. Well, and potentially save you a lot of money lost, right? Because prior to that, you had to do like 6 months of testing at this amount to get this many hits to see. And now it's like, maybe you're only doing, a month of testing before the AI is like, yeah, no, this is going to go nowhere, but this is going to take off. So stop putting money here and put money here kind of thing. Because that's one of the most frustrating things about like ads or split tests or anything like that is that, there's time and money involved in the tests and figuring out what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. And if you're not super inclined to go back over your data and put all that time in, this is a way to, again, help you minimize your time output, but still be able to put that time towards building your business and, you know, streamlining it and doing all those things. Again, it's a hand that you didn't have, you know, that's helping lift the load for you. Automation's been around for a long time. We automate and we automate and we automate. And the reason that we do that is so that we can focus our energies on other areas to do other things.
Yeah.
That's just
another one I just got access to that I can't believe I didn't have access to before was Clarity. Which the reason I love Clarity is because one of their metrics is literally called rage clicks, which I'm a rage clicker, so that makes me laugh. But what Clarity does is if you attach it to your website, you can see like if people are scrolling down all the way to the bottom. And you can see where they're clicking, where they're not. You can see if you have dead clicks that you thought were working but are not. You know, if all of your like really good information's at the bottom but no one's scrolling to it, then you know to move it to the top. There's just so much data from a website and like users website perspective that like you wouldn't get if you were just, you know, asking people like, hey, does my landing page look okay? They're like, yeah, it looks fine. But you can actually see, yeah, exactly. You can actually see scroll depth. You can see where they're clicking, where they're trying to click. Like maybe you have a graphic that looks really cool that people are clicking because they think it goes somewhere. Now you know, like, hey, let me embed a URL in here so that it does go somewhere, right? And it just gives you so much more information. It gives you a score of like, this is probably a pain point, you should fix it, or, you know, and it records the user data, so you can go back and rewatch it and figure it out. So that one is really cool, especially if you've got like a Shopify store or something like that. And it's free. It's a Microsoft extension.
That's awesome. Another one that is for like your analytics that I was sort of when I was scrolling around, you've got IBM Watson, which has been around forever, I think since 2009. So it's a pretty standard, solid one, but there's a new one called H2O.AI, and it's an open source, which I'm always love the open source, and it has so much stuff, and it's actually got, I went in and sort of dug around a bit, and it's got tools for various different niches, like business types, so like financial, medical, marketing, education, all that sort of stuff, so that you can go and see what tools would work best for your particular business in order to, you know, just track and make sure that you've got things. And because it's open source, it's not locked into using just one type of thing. I'm always a fan of open source because yeah. It's a little more work, but it's so much worth it.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually the case, right? I mean, building your own business is so much work, but so worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the good things are. I mean, it's why it makes it so much harder. And you have to decide and choose at that point where you're going to put your time and your effort. Like, I want to be skinny, but I also want to have a business. I probably could do the two things at the same time, but it's not going to happen. So where am I going to put, but the most of my focus is going to be mostly on my business. My husband loves me fluffy, so whatever.
Nice. I get it. I totally get it. Because, you know, like I said, like when that one guru was like, oh, you haven't made a sale in a week, your offer sucks. You should probably just stop what you're doing. I was like, okay, cool. So I've doubled down and like, oh yeah, I fired him so fast. I didn't actually say my offer sucks. He said there was no market for my product. And I was like, you don't even understand my product. So
but you know that's not true. Because I mean, remember I told you, like, that's actually one of the trending niches that's, you know, it's high search volume, low competition is the ice baths and that area, that whole. So there's so much to build around that. So yeah, obviously the guy's just stupid. Didn't know what he was talking about.
Well, I think he just was looking for instant successes for his testimonials. And like that was, you know, following what worked for him. And I was like, I mean, that's cool, but no.
Also, and
I'm
it
not
could
trying to
just be a
copy and paste the
possibility if
system.
you really just did not understand your niche. And so it's easy to dismiss something if it's not something that you understand, like AI, right?
Yeah,
Oh, it's a terrible
exactly.
tool. Dismiss it, but it's not really.
Yeah,
It's
so
actually very
instead
useful.
of quitting, I've doubled down and hired out and searched how to make my skills better to get, because a lot of my problem is communication, and that's where AI has really been beneficial for me because I know what I'm talking about. But I have so many issues with understanding other people's brains. Like we've talked about it before, like my significant other has ADD. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense. What do you mean you can't do the dishes? Like, what do you mean you can't finish a project? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And AI really helps with like, okay, like, how would you explain this to someone who's never heard of it? And then it helps break out that conscious bias and be able to officially communicate like what our program does.
And you can help AI, like I said in the beginning, by telling it who your client is, like who your client avatar is. And maybe client avatar is the hello is the new people, right? Is somebody who's never heard of it before, or somebody who's just starting in it, so that it can tailor its language without you having to remind it all the time, tailor your language, tailor your language. And yeah, rewriting is great. Maybe you've written something awesome, but it's, really long. You're like, I don't actually want it to be that long. And, you can rephrase it, get it to work with you. And there are prompts for that too. Just rewrite this. The other one that we don't realize that the AI is used for is A/B testing, right? It allows you to check out your campaigns, and all of the A/B testers will be using some form of AI to collect that data, to check that data, all that stuff. So it's not like, there's not a person at the other end doing this, right? And I think that's,
yeah, exactly.
we forget that AI has been around for a while. Data analytics, your computer's been doing a lot of the work, been doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So, trying to remember that. And Google Optimize is free.
Yeah.
So you can utilize that. There's another one called VWO that has a free, you can try it for free. So, and there's others. You just, again, do your research. Really, all you have to do is just simply utilize your search engine and ask for the best of this or the free of that, and, nail it down to what you want.
Yeah. And the best thing about AI in general is that it has no emotion. And that's what you need when you're looking at your business analytics, right? And that's why people struggle so hard when they've put their time and energy and everything into a landing page. And then someone's like, look, this is just not converting because of this. It's really easy to have an emotional reaction because you're like, but I worked on it for 5 hours. Like, what do you mean no one likes it? The AI can, again, just analyze the trends and be like, yeah, no, people don't get to this section. Like, take it out or rearrange it or whatever. Like, it's just a really good way to have that unbiased, like, here is the data, this is not working.
Yeah. And you can also utilize AI to help you write out your funnel. There are prompts for that. You can utilize AI to write out content schedules for you. You can tell it which platforms you're using, and it will break it down. It won't tell you specifically, it won't create the content for you, but it'll give you a schedule, like a whole month of scheduling of how to mix it up, some good, like hook ideas to break it down in terms of, what their problem is, what platform you're going to deal, what solutions you can provide, or what kind of content will, read into that problem or that desire or that solution, so that you can break that down. So all of a sudden, you don't have to go out and buy, major content planners if you don't want to. You can do that simply for free with some proper prompting and proper information. what was, yeah, yeah, you can build a funnel. You can ask it to build a funnel for you. So that's crazy to me. Like it won't build I mean, it'll build it, it'll
Yeah,
give
it'll
you the
tell you
structure and then you're going to do the
yeah.
physical work of it. So again, you're still doing the physical work, right? And then you can test it and see, does it work for you? Does it work better than what you actually originally put out there?
And again, that's where your A/B test come in. That's where your percentages come in. That's where that back-end AI analytics is going to help you out.
Absolutely. Now there's like a whole other, I mean, there's lots of other things that go into it. Let me just see what other things there are, because there's a ton, like holy crap, a ton of different things that are AI. So you can have it set up your email campaigns. You can have it do surveys. You can do I'm scrolling because there's so much stuff here. Okay, so yeah, you can do personalized email campaigns. You can do customer behavior analysis. We did touch on the chat bots and the customer service. So your AI can handle your reviews. It can handle your information requests, that sort of thing. It can do dynamic pricing. There are certain tools that you can have it, so it's actually monitoring the pricing, not only like how yours is doing at its pricing, but also what's going on around you for similar products, and change the prices if that's what you want to do dynamic pricing. Sometimes that's good for things like Shopify or whatnot, where you're, it's keeping an eye on your competitors so that you can make sure that you're equally, optimized. The SEO optimization, ad targeting. So it's not just content creation. It's not just image generation.
Yeah.
Anyway,
a lot. So much
there
more.
is a lot. And I think once people realize that there is more out there, maybe they'll be less inclined to hate specifically on AI. You still don't have to use it for content creation. If that's just a no for you, then don't do that. But that doesn't mean you can't utilize it to create schedules for you and to basically be your marketing assistant who handles a whole bunch of things that you just don't have time for. Because like any other tool, it's only useful if you know how to use it.
Yeah.
Everything's not a nail. You are not a hammer.
I love it.
So that is pretty much it. We just wanted to sort of cover some of the basics. If you need assistance setting up your basic Chat GPT, by all means, you can sort of hit me up. I don't have a problem reaching. I don't have a problem. I actually created a very short video that I have around somewhere that I would be happy to fire off to you so you can figure out how to do it for yourself and get that set up. What else? Oh, we commented about a lot of different things, different places. We'll try to drop some links a little later to make sure that you can actually see some of the links. We are not connected or affiliated with any of these. It's just things that we enjoy and that we use. We're happy to use to drop some links for you to especially ones that we really, really like. So we should definitely,
especially if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, it'll be in the description.
Yeah. If you are not subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, please do so.
The sooner we get 1,000 subscribers and all that glorious watch time, the sooner we can get our dark roast coffee store hooked up and you can get wonderful.
Absolutely. And that would be, specialty coffee cups, which are going to be fun and interesting, of course, because we get to both put in our creative juices into that. So, but we'll drop the link down for the Dark Roast podcast, as well as any things that we've touched on today. That's about it for today.
No, you have a webinar coming up, Miss Lady.
Nope, not today. I decided to go for the 14th because kids have half a day today, which means they would have been home for it. And I didn't feel like the 7th was enough time for people to really see and get to know me, or, to really understand what it was I was offering.
Fair enough.
And next week, the boys aren't here, so I will be able to just jump from A to B and not have the stress of all of that.
Well, even better. So that's still coming up next week. Miss Donna, as we got her own webinar, sharing that wealth of information that is in her brain. So for sure, check it out.
So yeah, and that's going to be on niche. There's about 10 different things that I'm going to try and cover. I only have an hour, so I will definitely tackle the main ones first. There'll be a Q&A. There is a workbook, cheat sheet, just so that you can follow along and figure out what you're doing. It's for people who are either looking to jump off into online marketing, they've had enough of their job, but they don't know where to start. Or for people who have been in online marketing and have really found themselves trying to sell something that just doesn't align with them. And so they're struggling to figure out what their niche is. This is a really, I want to say it's a really in-depth, even though it's an overview of the steps that you're going to need to take to really nail your niche. Anyway, so that's what I'll be doing next Friday after the dark roast. It's going to be a busy, busy day.
I'm so excited for you.
If it's something that you guys think you'd be interested in, it's free, obviously, to come and hang out with me for an hour and get some information. And there will be a Q&A afterwards. So you can pick my brain a little more, because I know that it'll feel a little bit fast for some people. The other thing I wanted to say is, as always, if you have any questions, you can reach out to either Rose or I, because we obviously have different skill sets, but we're both more than willing to share information on them. And if you have anything that you would like us to talk about, please drop it in the comments. Let us know, because we're more than happy to tackle a new topic for you, specifically for you. Yes. I think that is about it for today. We have not really decided what we're going to talk about next week, because we've been both very busy this week. And I know it's going to be even busier next week. So what would you like to talk about? Anything in particular that's got your head spinning these days?
Well, you know what? We did talk about having AI write your email campaign stuff. So why don't we talk about email campaigns and why they are lucrative and potentially important?
That sounds fantastic. That's actually was one of the ones that I was thinking about. So I love it when we're on the same page.
Same, great minds.
So we will do basically a 101 on email marketing. We obviously, if you wanted to go deeper into it, you'll questions.
Yeah, we will not be able to cover it all in 30 minutes, but
no. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a good Friday.
Have a good Friday.